Woods, and this is the place where I talk about random things to do with magic, folklore and spirituality. So today I thought what it would be fun to talk about, as it was brought into my mind again recently, was some of my sacred gifts. And these are the most valuable things that I own. So I thought it would be fun. I've got lots of random bowls full of all sorts of things that I haven't looked in for some time. But I thought it'd be quite nice fun to look through some of my most precious gifts. So to start with, let me introduce you to my Isis crystal. Now this is an Isis crystal because it has 5 faces on the front, so let's see if I can get a reflection of that. Any crystal that has that shape is called an Isis crystal. And this was bought for me as a gift. A very nice gift, very expensive gift from Glastonbury. I think it costs about £85, which actually is quite cheap. Glastonbury does some nice cheap gifts. And I also have, my heavy rock here. My crystal geode. This cost me £50, which I was very lucky, and she let me put a deposit on it and pay it off a little bit at a time till it was mine. But I don't want to talk about these gifts because these gifts cost money. What I really want to talk about are the gifts that come for free and the gifts that you can find along your way. So let me give you an example. Now this is my feather smudge, and I found these 2 owl wings on a beach at Allenby in Cumbria. And they were lying side by side, completely clean. The bird wasn't left, there were no bones. I do not know how 2 wings were lying side by side. But they were, and I found them. And I considered them an extremely sacred gift. Now I'm not very good at making feather smudges. And these have dried and shrunk together. They were much more open when I found them. Apparently you pin them onto a wall. Excuse me, I'm looking at the monitor so I can see what I'm showing you. Apparently you can pin them onto a board as they dry, and that way they will spread out. But I'd never made a smudge before, so this is what I got. So this is one of my most sacred gifts. And it's this kind of thing that I'm talking about. Things that you might find that come to you as Apports, as they're called. Things that you find that seem sacred and given to you particularly. So that's my first one. But I have all sorts of bowls here, so I'm going to go through a few of them a little bit at a time. So this I also found on a beach in Cumbria, and this is one of my most prized possessions, and I actually found the two of these at the same time. I picked up this one first, and then I picked up this moon shape rock, and I found that they fitted perfectly, and to me that is a moon goddess, an earth goddess. So she's been with me many years, and my point is you don't have to spend lots of money on getting beautiful statuettes. The most precious things are the ones that you'll find along your way, because they're gifts that are intended for you. Some more gifts. I quite often find owl feathers along my path, so I keep these little collection of feathers. I did have an intention, and I've also found more wings, but not as beautiful as those. Some were a bit dirty. I've got them in a box somewhere, but I won't show you. They're not that nice. But my intention was to make a feather cloak, which is something that the druids used to wear, or the shamans would wear, feathers on a cloak. I did gather an awful lot of feathers, but actually I ended up making a tree sculpture, which was branches wrapped in brightly coloured cotton, and at the end of each branch I'd put a feather. So that's what happened to all my feathers. So I reclaimed a few, but that was drastically reduced my collection, so I guess the feathered cloak was never for me. I also have a lot of bowls of random things, so let's start with this bowl here. And in this bowl here, the first thing I can find is a bit of beech driftwood. Put it down, it's heavy. And I love this because this is my dragon tree, my dragon woods, and he has a lot of character, and it's got beautiful knotwork on it. And so just having the energy of a dragon in a piece of wood is more precious to me than any sculpture I might buy on Amazon, say, that has a dragon on it. There you go. He's rather cool. So, another thing I have here is a fossil. And this fossil was given to me, and it was found apparently in Cumbria, where you don't usually find ammonite, so it's quite rare. This is what I was told, that it was a very rare stone because of where it was found and its strangeness in that vicinity. But you know what I like about this is the fact that it's the miracle of animal turned to mineral. We kind of think that we are animal, vegetable or mineral, but this has changed form. Used to be an animal, it's now a mineral. So over millions of years this has become part of the earth itself. So that's very sacred indeed, and of course it bears the sacred spiral as a great symbol. I also have one I bought, if I can find that one quickly, just to show you the beauty. Scrabble, scrabble, there we go. I have to dust it off a little. The beauty of something that's changed form into a mineral. Aren't they beautiful? And I bought this one. I bought this one from Glastonbury again. There was two halves, unfortunately one of them shattered. But the sacredness of life right there, really, isn't it? So that's one of my very prized items, thrown in a pot here. These are extremely dusty. It's so embarrassing. I have here, it's a little tangle, there we go, a string of pearls. And this always reminds me of the beauty of the sea. Now these were my mother's. She gave them me, unfortunately it broke. But I still keep that because of the sacredness of the water element and the beauty of pearls. And I think that might be a little bit of coral there as well, so natural pearls. So that's quite fine. What else can I show you? Here's one. This is my holy stone. And these are, you're supposed to be able to see the fairies if you look through a holy stone. I can't say I've ever seen the fairies, but you can hang it up at your door to protect your house, and you can work magic with them. I found a few, but this is the only one I seem to have left, and I think I found it on the shore, so it would have been hollowed out by the sea. So yeah, they're sacred objects, holy stones. Now talking of sacred objects, this is my natural piece of quartz, and this comes with me everywhere. And I got this at Cumbria as well. Cumbria is covered in quartz stones. In fact, here's the little tale. I found on the lake of Windermere a beautiful natural crystal quartz. But I asked if it wanted to come with me, and it really didn't. It wanted to stay where it was, and I don't blame it, really. So I left it there. So I hope everyone who found that asked it the same question and respected the fact that it may not want to be your thing. It may just want to be seen and appreciated and live where it is. So always ask an object if it wants to come with you. Now, in Cumbria, you also get wishing stones, which are grey stones with quartz veins through them. And although I picked up many, I don't have any left. And I really wish that I still had a piece of a wishing stone. And apparently you can, obviously, make wishes on them. So I'll have to one day go and find another piece of a wishing stone. Here I've got a snail shell, and these are also of the sacred spiral, and you can find them everywhere. So I like to keep one as a precious sacred object there. Here's another holy stone actually, and I used to wear this as jewellery. See if I can focus on that. And it's got a little hole to put a string in, and that's also a natural bit of quartz. So I used to wear that around my neck. I maybe will again, but it's still got it. I keep it in my little sacred objects. Oh, now then, I've just remembered something else. Wait a minute. Here we go. Now when it comes to feathers, this one's particularly special to me, and this is an eagle feather, and I had to go all the way to India to get an eagle feather, and I found it at the bottom of a banyan tree, and no one else had seen it. but I presume that's what it is. I think they were sea eagles or brown eagles, I'm not really sure. There were a lot of them, and of course we don't see eagles very often in this country. It was a real treat to see them, but it was something I had to earn, and I had to conquer my fears and meet challenges in order to earn this eagle feather. So I'm quite glad that it was given to me. So that's one of my most precious objects too. There's a cat trying to tear through the doorway. Hang on, I'll just deal with the cat. Oh, and this also came from India. And somebody gave this me on the beach. And I'm not quite sure what it is. It's half mineral, half shell. Can you see that? Lovely spirals. I'll go and let my cat out. Okay, so I have a lot of pots of crystals. I like crystals, but I'm not necessarily advocating that you buy lots of crystals. These are just a few. I've forgotten what this is called. A moonstone. It's not a moonstone, it's a silicon. Oh gosh, I used to know that. But it's a lovely palm stone, very gentle and soothing. Maybe I'll remember and put up what it is just here somewhere. Then I have some lovely little shaped talismans. So this is a quartz in the shape of an eagle or a dove. I have an owl. And I think this is maybe moss agate or an agate of some sort. And the owl is very sacred to me. I always seem to connect with owls, so this is one of the earliest pieces of jewellery I got. And that's been with me a while, although its ears got knocked off, so I knocked the other one off to match. So it's now an earless owl. What else? Jumbles of everything. Little twin quartz crystals. If you don't know about crystals, there's some amazing books on crystals. I recommend Catherine Raphael. She's written 3 wonderful books. This is a Tao crystal which Katrina Raphael writes about, which is a 7-sided, 3-sided, 7-sided, 3-sided perfect crystal there. And these are good for raising consciousness. Just a little brief discussion on crystals, because crystals can be mined quite exploitatively these days, so I'm not sure I should encourage anyone to go out and buy lots of crystals like I have. I used to have more, but unfortunately they disappeared. This is a real turquoise, which is quite rare, because mostly we buy turquoise, I think it's called, which passes as turquoise, and it's exceedingly blue, whereas this is a real turquoise and has much more brown in it, and it's very protective. It's a little uglier than turquoise, but it's the real deal. Everyone's got to have a piece of rose quartz, of course. Anything else in there? This is my piece of citrine, and it's a ethically mined piece of citrine, so it's a little bit uglier than you might expect a piece of citrine to be, but this is for joy. And I think that's mainly what I've got in here, is a collection of stones. Some of them are shop bought and some of them I have found. Nice optical bit of calcite there, showing you the geometry of crystals. Okay, and Now these are commercially sold gifts. I want to say there's nothing wrong in getting a few tools that you may have bought online or in a shop. But now I want to show you some of my most precious items. Just the last feather. This is a parrot feather. And I like this because I found out that I've got Brazilian DNA. If I can believe GEDmatch, which apparently you can. And so this connects me to South America. And this came from somebody's domestic parrot. But I love it because we don't have feathers that bright and colourful here. So that one's very precious too. Now then, this is my box of goodies. And in here I have, well, I have two other boxes. But firstly I have a 4-leafed clover. And it's a genuine, legitimate 4-leaf clover. Can you see that? And somebody sent me that. They said they could manifest them. I looked really carefully and I couldn't see a leaf glued on, so I do believe that is a 4-leaf clover. So that one I keep. Bring me luck. Now then, which box should I start with first? This box, okay. Now this is a bit grim. If you don't like bones, look away now. I found this last year. I've actually got a bit of video of me finding it. And let's bring it right in here. This is, I presume, if anyone can recognise it, let me know. This is a fox tooth. I also have a thing about foxes. So I consider that a sacred gift. Having found, that's all I can really think is something that large with that kind of canine is a fox, I suspect. So that's a tooth. Now then, if you look in this box, I have this. It's getting really close on this. There we are. Focus on it. There we go. Now when I found this, I thought, my God, that's a big claw. What on earth will give you a claw that size? Excuse me if I mess around with my camera here. So please focus on that. No, not on me. Oh, it's tricky. So that, I think, if anyone can identify that, I think that is a boar tusk or a pig tooth. Because it's huge. And I can't think of anything else that would have a tooth that large. Possibly a badger. If anyone could recognise this and tell me what it is, that'd be great. I found this on an allotment. And I was digging. And this came to the surface. Now, lots of people have dug that bit of land, which makes it quite amazing that I found this. And I presumed, because it was a medieval village, that this could possibly have been a domestic pig or a wild boar. And wild boars have been extinct since medieval times. So I wondered if I'd found a wild boar tusk. They might be larger than this, I might be mistaken, but I can't think of anything else that could be. And wild boars were symbolic of leadership, because people used to wear them around their necks. They used to wear boar tusks, boar teeth. So I don't really want to drill through it, and it's not exactly whole enough to make it into a really good bit of jewellery. But I think, will you focus on that? No. Yep, go on. I think that's a wild boar tusk anyway. So I keep it in a little box, keep it safe. And also, when you dig allotments, you always find a little bit of 17th, 18th century clay pipe. And I always find these. I've been finding these for years. They must have had hundreds of these at one point, because you can always find a bit of clay pipe. But it's lovely because it connects you to the person who used to own this. Now, talking of connecting to the person who used to own this, my most amazing find, which I didn't find, a friend of mine found this in North Yorkshire, and she said she found loads. And she sent me one. And this is a flint tool. This is a prehistoric flint tool. And it's a beautiful colour. And you can see it's definitely a right-handed one. You can see how it would fit into somebody's hand. And that was used for cutting, for stripping back skin on animals. So that is a, I wish I could get right in on that because it's a lovely piece. Yeah, that is a prehistoric flint tool. It's amazing. So there you go. I think that's the extent of my little precious commodities. And I would love to know what you have found. If you found anything that you consider quite sacred or precious, then you could let me know in the comments. But what's your most prized possessions? And here we're not talking about things that cost money. We're talking about things that you wouldn't come by in any other way. So I'd be really interested to know. I've spared you a few of them. I've got quite a lot of things here. Lots of shells, of course. This is a nice shell that came from India too. So let me know, what do you consider your most precious objects? And yeah, share them with us. So thank you for watching, and yeah, lovely to speak to you, and I hope to speak to you all again soon. Thanks, bye.